to Beers and Bars.
Your place of rapid fire hip hop discussion and of course great beer.
Alright, come on, get up.
OT the Golden Child. Thank y'all for checking out our last episode 272, right?
272.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike.
Young Thug. We talked about Jim Jones and Pusha.
Yeah.
Doing a little something right now.
Yeah, still brewing.
Yeah, but look, this is kind of special, man. We haven't actually been in a space and talked with, whether it be brewery, bottle shop, whatever the case may be, since the pandemic, right? Yeah. Since it started, right? I think the last space we were in was Old Irving in February of 2020. So we're here with I know, right? It's been a while.
Lots happened since then.
Yeah, man, we're here with the great folks of Bitter Pops, right?
Hola. Yes, we're here at Bitter Pops.
Salud. Cheers. Welcome.
Cheers. Introduce yourselves. Go ahead, Nick.
Nick, I'm the director of marketing here at Bitter Pops, also one of the co-founders.
I'm Megan Gill, Nick's wife, and I'm the GM, HR.
Boss. She's the boss.
I do all of the operational things, and then the third leg of the stool, they always say, is Mike Dornt, and he's on family vacation right now, which is good. We finally got him out of the shop. It's hard for us to leave this lovely space, so we'll be representing the BP crew today. Thank you for having us, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get into what Bitter Pops is all about, what are we drinking here today?
Do you want to start with
this? Okay, all right.
We're just going to dive in.
All right, we got to do it.
Okay, so what is this? What is this?
So this would be Nick's favorite libation, Malört. And you guys kind of let the jig up and let us know that you've been around Malört many a time.
Yes,
you've never had the pleasure of trying it, so
shout out,
you
couldn't
make Nick more happy than to pop the cherry of the Malört experience. It's Nick's favorite beverage, like I said, and it's all about Chi-Town and camaraderie, especially in the industry, a little homage to the city. So
what is it?
So it's a spirit made of wormwood and has many different descriptions that you will find for many people. It's more like a rotten grapefruit without throwing under the bus, or hairspray, or formaldehyde, or delicious juice.
That's not what I get. I get some lovely bitter notes. The burning that just continues to build.
Yeah,
which is
grows.
Excellent.
It really grows on you. It's not like one of those that just cuts quick and it's over. It just lingers and hangs out with you and keeps the enjoyment lasting.
Will I throw up on camera?
Right.
Maybe in your mouth.
Ingesting this at all.
So that's the thing is the Malört face is a real thing.
Yeah, it's true.
And on their social media, you'll see a bunch of people showing their Malört face, which is their friends hazing them, video recording them while they take their first shot. So
let's do it.
We got you guys right here.
It's been around.
Malört face.
It's been around for a long time. It was being distilled in Florida for a hot minute. Now it's back in the city, being brewed with distilled with Chicago Distilling. So it's really excited to have this lovely thing back in our hometown. All right, to getting it started, guys. Thanks for having us. Cheers.
Here we go. That's not bad.
Let it marinate.
It's a journey.
It's not good, but it's not. Nah. I mean, look at things. SIU, we used to shot Everclear. We've shot Everclear.
But at the same time,
that's pretty bad.
Oh, I think Everclear might be worse.
Yeah, and it can kill you because
out
it's poison.
Wait, did you say SIU?
Yes.
You're a Saluki?
Yes.
Me too.
All right, hold on.
That.
He's a Saluki as well.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
See, we're supposed to be here.
Yeah, meant to be.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a lingering aftertaste.
Yes,
there.
of course, the bitterness.
But not as bad, right? We kind of built it up. What do you think?
I don't think it's as bad as, because, I've never had it and I've heard stories and whatnot. It's not as bad as people make it seem.
Well, back
for me.
Yeah, well, back in the day, they had some inconsistencies with how the product was made. So it would be kind of a thing if you had a good bottle of Malört or a bad bottle.
We call it good batch or bad batch.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, really?
Exactly. But now CH Distilling is brewing it up, so they're a lot more consistent with their models, and they're making a delicious product, I think. But I really enjoy it.
So this has been sitting in the rails of bars for many years in Chicago. And there was this bar that's no longer with us that we love, Patty Long's on Diversey, and a bartender, Sam, worked there, and he would always pull this dusty bottle off the rail and give people shots of it instead of the usual Jameson. And he started making videos, and people were doing this Malört-based videos, and then he got a cease and desist because the female owner, the living descendant of the brand, was like, "You're hurting my brand," and he was actually bringing it back and making it popular again, and filed a lawsuit. And he made an entire presentation to the owner of the company. It was like, "Instead of suing me, let me help you. Let me help you bring this brand back. We can make it into something. Like, there's so much potential here. People already love it. It's got a story, and it's about our city." And she ended up hiring him on the company, and they helped grow the brand to what it is today and really revitalize it. So it's like a true success story coming from nothing in the city. And a lot of people don't know that story, but it's a good homage to Chicago.
You heard it here first.
I like that.
Maybe not first. But.
Yeah. Well, who's counting?
One of the how we came to be here. We were here in February for Black Beer History,
right?
And I think all the beers that we have are from some of the black brewers within the city, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I am having Reclaiming My Time. This is from Jay Westbrook. This is the 2023 Freedomish Saison with hibiscus and peach at 1.8%. And I believe you guys are having the
Moor's Pilsner, Pear Pilsner.
It's so good.
It's so good. Summer beers. These are summer beers. This is what everybody's drinking right now and crushing on our patio, our beautiful patio. But yeah, I mean that's also an excellent beer, low ABV. Sketchbook did an incredible job with that, and then Sam Ross as well.
Okay.
But yeah, and then this one from Moor's, we were so happy when we got this beer.
Yeah.
It was just like right when it was starting to get really hot here in Chicago, because we had that like false, spring, and then we actually got into the 90s, the 80s, the 90s.
We did skip a season.
Yeah, we did.
But that's normal for us. It's normal for us.
You never know.
But it was great. This landed at the perfect time. We still have both of these on tap. So
they really did a good job with this. When you bite into that pear, that crunch, crisp, but it's like a creaminess that comes with it. They've captured that in this beer. I was going to try to get something different, so I wasn't copying him, which usually happens when we go out to eat. I'm like, no, I have to get my own thing, and then he's such a good picker. When I tried, I was like, oh man, it's just so really hitting the spot.
Yeah.
You all obviously know a lot about beer. You have an affinity to beer. Yeah. Why start a brewery? But what makes you different from the other breweries that are out there?
Right. So we're primarily a bottle shop.
Gotcha.
But we do we contract brew our own beer, which is Courage Lager. But besides that, for me personally, this was Mike's brainchild, our other partner, and what really pulled me into the industry was a couple of things. The creativity that was happening really pulled me in. I'm a fine artist, graphic designer by trade, so I saw people trying to advance an industry, and that really attracted me, and trying to do new things, putting peach in a beer, putting hibiscus in a beer, barrel aging beers, and that was just so much creativity was happening, even in the bottle shop side of things. They wanted to pull away from the dirty kind of liquor store vibe when you went in and you kind of felt like, oh, I'm going to get a brown paper bag to go get some beers. It's an elevated experience when you come into a bottle shop. Respecting the brands was also another thing that really stood out for me when we were doing a lot of research on what we wanted to accomplish here at Bitter Pops. But ultimately, it was the camaraderie. It's
a family.
We went on some road trips to Minnesota. We went to Columbus, Ohio. We went to Indianapolis. Just stuff around us in the Grand Rapids. Stuff around us in the Midwest. And what we saw is, just on the day that we were there, the brewery that was from the town over helping the brewery that we were at, and with no shame, and let's elevate this industry together. And during that time, it was super exciting and great to see.
It was also a time for you, too, that you speak of when the labels really became another way of expression with art, which made it really fun. So Nick's background is graphic design, like you said, and Mike's was retail and brand strength. And so he saw that there's just a lot of ways that this industry has been doing it for a long time that we're kind of broken, and we could do it better. You know, the opposite of the corner liquor store is the snobby, shop where, if you're not spending the $90 on a bottle of fancy wine, you're not doing the right thing. And so it was like finding that middle ground where it's a place for anyone, and we appreciate the novice just as much as the expert. It's about finding something that speaks to you. What's calling on life? What are you having for dinner? Are you sitting on the patio, or are you cooking a meal, and helping curate the selection so that it's fun? Because that's what it's all about. It's not buying things and hiding them in the basement underneath a trap door. It's drinking them tonight with friends and hanging out and having those experiences and recognizing that beer or burger or coffee or sandwich is just a vessel that brings people together.
The name, where did that?
Bitter Pops?
Yeah.
So 2012, 2013, a cousin of mine put Mike and I in contact together. He was looking to start a brand. He wasn't sure exactly what he was wanting to do, something pub related with a bottle shop attached to it. And at the time I was working downtown for a company called Kaleidoscope Group. It's a diversity and inclusion consulting firm. And I was doing in-house graphic design and art for them. And we were there was a group of us that were younger that were trying to branch off and create a separate business called Young Minds, which was more focused on marketing to a diverse and inclusive base. And when my cousin reached out to me and Mike reached out to me, I was like, oh, this is going to be a perfect client to start to bring into this company. So we started to chat. He came in and he's like, yeah, this is my idea. Bitter Pop, something completely different than, we're used to, but we wanted to get our feet wet with this company. So we brought him in as a client, started working with him, and we asked the very same question, why Bitter Pops? And his response to me was, whenever he was working with his team at his old company, he'd say, let's go get a pop. And that's a Midwest thing, pop, Right. And then he started saying it to him, let's go get a bitter pop, which meant let's go get some beer because beer's bitter,
that. I was hoping it was a long,
So he was like, this is something that stuck with him, and he was kind of just using it, and we were using it as a placeholder name, to maybe we came up with something better or whatever, but it also opened up a lot of avenues that it didn't need to be beer. It could be coffee. It could be, any other substance, so that fits in this vessel. So that's kind of where the foundation of that name came from.
Right on. That's dope, actually. I wasn't expecting.
He was resistant to it. He's like, I don't know if we should call it that.
And we kept going to, we were looking for a place, a neighborhood to be in, and we would go to different chambers and do presentations and say, this is Bitter Pops, this is what we're thinking about doing. And we really didn't get any negative feedback on the name of what is that? Why are you calling yourself that?
Well, it sounds cool, and I think when you hear it, it makes you ask what? What is it? It's intriguing. You want to know
what is it? And the thing is, it changes. It's always changing.
Pops is it's popping. It's popping.
Exactly.
But so this is the location we're in right now.
Yes.
You all were in a different location before this location, right?
Yeah, we started Bitter Pops just over 7 years ago, 2 doors down in the heart of West Lakeview, and this was as this neighborhood was starting to really develop and right kind of on the cusp of the craft beer movement. I've been in the industry for a long time, and Nick was telling me about this client that he had, and you gotta meet him, and I've just always had a passion for craft beer. Growing up, my older brother had this bar, Hotel Charlotte, RIP, that would get you on the wall of foam if you drank 1,000 beers, and it was like this little passport experience. And whenever I'd visit him in Charlotte, we would go to Hotel Charlotte and we'd drink all these obscure beers. And so I just always loved how it really comes from all over the world, and there's so much history behind it. And so when we opened next door, it was this quaint shop that was more retail focused with this tiny little tasting room in the back. And it was just the three of us, and the goal was really highlighting craft beer and then connecting the community to it and with the brewers. So like bridging the gap and telling those stories. And so slowly but surely, we kept evolving. Our guests would come in and say, you know, it'd be really great if I could get a bottle of bourbon while I was here. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess we got to learn about bourbon. And then we started expanding the categories. And before you knew it, we had cold brew coffee on tap. We were selling local coffee brands, kombucha, cider, pretty much everything. And then wine. And wine kind of became my baby because that was totally out of my comfort zone. I was a beer girl in a wine world. And there was just so many things to explore with that. And wine's come a long way too with the fun labels and telling the stories, and a lot of younger people getting into these older heritage brands. So we were there for 5 years, and we kind of outgrew the space. And an opportunity came in this corner spot. You know, when you grow up, you see that corner lot with the 2-car garage in the corner. You're like, oh, I'm going to own the corner house one day. And thanks to the support of the community and just our ability to pivot and grow and respond to the community needs, we were able to take over the space right when the pandemic happened.
How did the pandemic treat you all? How did you all kind of navigate?
Yeah, it was tough for everybody, obviously. It was crazy to get that news. We were just finishing up a pop-up with Alarmist at the time, and it was.
Were you here? You were
no, we were still in the old space.
Okay.
We were in the old space, and we were talking about moving here, and to the point where we're like, okay, we're about to.
We're in negotiations.
We had to
with the
make
lease.
exactly.
Yeah.
We had to make the decision whether to come here or not, and the three of us got together, and we were all pretty down with everything that was going on, and we're like, we just don't know. There's so much uncertainty. And then, you know, I think we all went home and went to bed that night, and we woke up the next morning just kind of feeling off about making the decision to not do it. And you know, Mike was the first one that spoke up, and he's like, why not?
We got it.
Let's do it. And both of us were completely aligned with him. We were just like, you know, whenever there's this devastation or something, or not devastation, but something big and impactful was happening, there's always an opportunity, you know, and you got to find it and you got to take advantage of it. And we had it right in front of us. And so we were like, yes, let's do it. And we were 100% behind him. But then the hard work happened, you know, the shop shut down and we didn't have an online presence or anything.
So you made the move and then the pandemic.
No, we were still there.
Yeah, we were still there. We were primarily
we were just signing the paperwork to get this location secured.
Oh, that's even scarier.
And exactly.
Because it shut our business down, right? Because the world closed, and we were like, okay, we're going to start figuring this out. And Nick made us realize that we have to have an online presence, and that's what's needed for this. And so we completely shut our business down, closed for 1 week. And Nick miraculously created an online platform, website, did all the things to get us completely online so that, you know, it's an essential product for a reason. You know, we drink spirits when we're sad, we drink it when we're happy.
We were front line, but we were essential.
We realized the importance of still being able for people to find some solace at home, you know, with having these beers, even though they couldn't go to place, you can enjoy it at home. And so
tremendous support from our community. Tremendous support. The first day that we put our website active online, we had a tremendous amount of community support. Man, we do learn everything the hard way, though.
That's the only way we learn anything.
It was on me that, you know, we were working with a processor that didn't want to sell alcohol online at that time. So everything that we sold that first day was refunded or didn't get processed. And so I love having my beautiful wife next to me because she saved my ass. We did get a new processor like a day later, and she was able to call up the guests.
I called every single person.
You know, we made this, you know, this mistake happen, and she was able to get like 95% 5%.
All but one older man,
99%.
99.9. You know, it just showed that the people that were supporting us, you know, we would write handwritten letters.
Yeah.
It gave us the opportunity to partner with a local courier service, Cut Cats, that are zero emissions bike couriers. So we were working with another local small business, and it was a way for us still to connect. Handwritten notes. Hey, happy first birthday to so-and-so's kid.
just
and
thank you.
how are you
Just
doing?
saying
Or thank you for the
them.
support. And
Yeah.
we thrived off of that for, you know, the whole pandemic. Meanwhile, you know, we were very fortunate. We were able to come to work every day. We did our build out through the pandemic. So while people were processing and going through this hard times in their own ways, we were looking towards the future. We were coming to work and seeing the progress in here and trying to build something that we knew could be the light at the end of the tunnel when we got to the other side. It was just hoping we could get to the other side. We were working around the clock. We were trying to keep the business going, maintained all of our staff, hired a couple more people. We were pretty much functioning as like an Amazon fulfillment center.
Exactly.
But locally, right? Like we were still having those connections and getting emails. And this was before Troy. He would write us like funny poems and skits and songs to us to like brighten up our days. That was Allie. Oh, she's the best. But it was just finding that way to still connect, and people wanted us to be here when it was said and done. And then we were able to open our doors here, and it was just a magical time, but also some of the hardest times, you know, for us too, you know, for many reasons. We still suffered through the pandemic, lost loved ones and friends, and a lot of people moved away. And so it's all been about change, but I feel like that is really what separates us from everyone else. Something about us, we love adversity, we love challenges, but more or less we're always willing to pivot. So we're never like set in stone and cement. We will be like, okay, we're all on board. We're a three-legged stool for a reason. We always outvote each other one way or another. And even when we're like, okay, this is the way we're rolling, we're all on board, the next morning we can wake up and be like, you know what? That's not right. Let's try this. And so we're constantly moving the cheese, as you will. I don't know if you've read that book. Nick loves it. It's an inspirational book. But and so if it doesn't work, then you change it. A lot of these big companies, you know, spend all this money and figure out that, you know, this is what we're going to do and invest in it. And they're stuck going that way, whether it works or not. And pivoting has really been our secret weapon. We're constantly changing things and adapting and trying to grow and become better and better and better no matter what the world puts at us. So.
Yeah, and for me, two main things stood out for the pandemic that Megan mentioned was, one, we were able to keep all of our staff. We didn't have to furlough anyone. We were blessed with the community, and that's the second one. We were blessed with the community that we have to be able to support the people that we had on staff through the pandemic. So those two things really stood out.
It's always good to not only, you know, talk about the different places that we've been, about the beer and all that, but I like talking to business owners. And not just the, you know, the pandemic is one thing. That's one aspect of the whole thing. But the idea of owning a business and having to pivot and getting creative with how you move forward, how within the pivoting, how did you all maintain the Bitter Pops brand so that you didn't have to, you know, change everything that you did? Were people coming up to the
not at first.
shop just to
first.
Get beer, or
they were like, we did the delivery service for a while, then we transitioned over to where you could pick up at the door, so curbside pickup, and then we launched over here. We were able to open the doors, and so it was like a call to action to get people to come out. But I mean, the first year, people were really only sitting outside. We had all of our seating space apart, and it was just retail for a little bit, and it. You know, the world works in strange ways. It really allowed us to like soft launch each different department. So those changes that we made in the old space, we've created several businesses under one roof. So we have a full production coffee bar. We open at 7 a.m. during the week. We have amazing coffee bar service. We have a retail that's our pride and true, that's always rotating with fun selection. But Right now, the big emerging category is non-alcoholic, so that's a huge component for us. Wine, we sell a lot of wine. That's my baby. And then all the other categories, craft beer, obviously, kombucha, cider, seltzers, as you know, are a huge category because everyone was getting fat at home drinking beer. So now they're drinking the seltzers. You have to mix that up a little bit, a little locale option. But so then that was the retail part of it, still keeping it that local feel, when our guests come in, we know their dog's name, we know their kid's name. Oh, okay, what did you think about that last beer you tried? Okay, let's try this. It's really about trying something new and getting people out of their comfort zone. They're promiscuous here. And then we have our private room space that we have here that we run out and do a lot of events, which is exciting to host people, special events. And then the tap room, that's really turned into a much larger production because we have really fun cocktails. And then the heart of that is our kitchen. We have an amazing chef, an amazing crew, and the food that they're kicking out is so fun. Yep. And then
when this is done, I'm gonna go eat. So.
Yeah. And then we just added a pastry chef, and she's really having fun. That's something out of our comfort zone too. And she's just so inspired and does an amazing thing. Francie, you're the best. And so we're just kicking out new things and trying new things. And we have all these different areas of the shop. That's the glue that kind of holds it all together. And, it changes week to week. We do different regional burgers that we highlight. Secret coming. We're going to start doing regional sandwiches next month. Yeah. But it's just, people want new. People want new news. People want something to look forward to, something fun.
Yeah. I think we learned that too from our old space. Every time we had a rotating draft list, and it was important to keep it rotating so that we always had new things on. And it's like, how can we bring that sort of energy to other places in the shop? Retail, there's always going to be seasonal specials that come in and all of that. And then with coffee, now we're doing new coffee drinks. With our burger, doing our regional burger specials. And then, like you said, the sandwiches to come. But always keeping things interesting, keeping them, keep the vibe and the energy up, and listening to our community. The big reason why we opened 4 businesses under one roof was because our community was like, I love drinking at our old spot. They were like, I love drinking in this tap room. I want to be here, but I've got to go eat. I can't just sit here and drink. Yeah, so it's just listening to them and, what they had to say.
And staying true to ourselves. We repurposed all the materials. We literally stripped the walls and took all the barnwood over from the old space. We tried to keep it so that it's new and fresh, but still felt like you were in the old shop. And that was a lot of design work. We had an amazing architect too that we worked with that really got it. But whenever we make any decision here, we always talk about our why. So our what is we sell things. It doesn't matter if it's beer or coffee or wine or a burger. That's what we do. How is through this beautiful space or online. Any place does that. 7-Eleven has a what and a how. What separates is our why. And it's bringing people together to laugh, share, and engage. Meanwhile, they're drinking a beer and stuff. It's just a vessel to bring people together, like I said. And we always make that the prime focus of what we're doing. So with our marketing, if it doesn't have a why behind it, it doesn't work because that's a what. With our design or how we approach anything, we always try to have a philanthropic thing behind it and really not make it about us. Like we're really coming into a new phase for us having our own private label beer or wine and our food. Our main goal all these years have been to tell your stories, hear about you. We don't really we're not good at talking about us. We're really good at talking about other people because you make it easy, Every label is blood, sweat, and tears. Every story, every name of every beer, the ingredients, everyone's thought and woke up and slept on it and deliberated over and put all this love into it. And those are the stories we want to tell. And whatever month we're celebrating or whatever time of year it is, it's just that calendar of dates that keeps us talking about what's the next best thing that people got to know about it. Right. July 1st, you're here today. So
that's amazing. Absolutely. And what's great, because I remember the first time when we were here in February and I kind of approached Nick about being on the show, he was like, because we really we want to tell other people's stories. Right. We're not really trying to, so that we appreciate that. Yeah.
With that being said, what projects do you all have, or events do you all have coming up?
Yeah, so we got a packed calendar like we usually do. With the summer months, we understand that everyone wants to be out doing things outside, concerts,
A lot of competition.
NASCAR races, baseball games, whatever is going on in the city, just going to the beach. So we try to keep it simple. In July, we're doing, so it's Christmas in July for us. It starts today. So we're selling our Advent Calendar box, which is a great mix of 24 beers from breweries in Chicago. And so that started for sale today. And then on the 5th, we're going to start doing our Advent Calendar Passport. And we did one in December, and that was 24 beers. This one will just be 12, but you get a really nice discount on beers when you come in if you purchase one of the Christmas in July passports, and you get stamps. Once you complete your first 6 stamps, we give you a Frisbee. Once you complete your second 6 beers, then you get a really nice Advent Calendar glass that you can drink with your box or pour your beers in for your box. So we've got that going on in July. Megan's got a wonderful wine market at the end of July, doing some summer wines and things like that. In August is our customer appreciation month. So we're trying to give tickets to all sorts of events. We're doing Tuesday tappings and ticket giveaways every Tuesday in August. So if you guys want to come in, we'll do a collaboration to give away some tickets on some events going on in August or September. Would love to work with you guys. And then September, I'm really excited about. So we've got a pop-up with Cruz Blanca coming up. And they're going to be doing, a bunch of their Latin-inspired beers, which is really exciting, being a Latino myself. And we're going to get to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Nice. So that'll be going on. I believe it's the 12th through the 19th or something like that. Thanks, Troy. But yeah, the 12th through the 19th, Hispanic Heritage Month kicks off on September 15th. So we'll be doing some reggaeton in here, having some Latin vibes, micheladas, a lot of great stuff. Come by for that. And then, of course,
an excuse to come every week.
And then, of course, celebrating Oktoberfest, which is, a big part of the beer community.
Okay.
Right on.
I think that's a good spot to let everybody know where they can. We'll give us the address, let everybody know where you guys are located and all that kind of good stuff. So
3357 North Lincoln Avenue. We were right on the cusp of South Park Corridor and Roscoe Village, so West Lakeview. We're open 7 days a week. And it's BP all day. You can come in and get your coffee in the morning. You can do some emails, work, slide into a sandwich for lunch, eat your burger for dinner, and slip into some cocktails and some craft beers. We have live music here sometimes. We kind of do all the things. There's something to draw you in here every day of the week, all day long. So come in and check us out.
There's some place that people can know what the event schedule is.
Best place there's 2 really good places to see what's going on here. You can go to our Instagram, which is @BitterPops, and also check out our website, bitterpops.com. And then I also wanted to give a couple shout outs. We started working with the black beer community. We've been working with them for a while, but Liz Garibe from the Museum, she really put us on. She's been a huge supporter ever since 2016 when we were in our old spot. And as these black brewers and breweries started coming on the scene, she started really including us because she knew that we were storytellers. And so it's been a pleasure to work with Jay Westbrook, Sam Ross, Funky Town, Moor's, 18th Street,
Haymarket.
Black Beer Horizon, Haymarket, Sketchbook. That's where there's a ton of exciting energy right now in the beer industry. And my Latino breweries coming up too, Casa Humilde out at the Brew Yards. Make sure you guys check them out. We're doing a burger and beer with them later this month as well.
But don't forget the ladies.
Yeah,
the ladies in the industry.
For sure. Eris, check out Eris.
Metropolitan.
Metropolitan. Tracy from Metropolitan is the beer
The girls
queen.
at Beguile.
Dovetail.
Dovetail.
Yep. They're doing their
finest lagers.
So good.
But this industry, you guys have probably heard it a million times that the beer is just as diverse as the people that drink it here. And so it's really exciting to sit down with you guys and talk and have some time together. So thank you.
Thank you. Beers and bars.
You guys are empty. Get that Malört bottle over here. You can't toast on an empty glass. More